Welcome to the Toxin Terminator, helping people to restore and renew their health by removing the toxins from the home and their lives. Join in as industry thought leaders help you understand the physical and emotional effects these products can have on you and your family, and the safe alternatives you can use to remove the hidden toxins for renewed health. Now, please welcome your host, the Toxin Terminator herself, Amy Carlson.
I always got to do a little dance as I get ready for the podcast there. I'm so excited you guys are tuning in with us each and every time we go live on Mondays and Thursdays. If you are watching us and you've been watching us, make sure to leave a review if you'd like what you're hearing. And if you're new to watching the show, no matter what platform you're on, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button so that you get each and every episode. Now, this week, we've got a really special guest coming in with us. KUTImack is a certified personal trainer. Like, you can't tell that by looking at him. He is also a certified nutritionist. He is a motivational speaker, and he's so passionate about kind of marrying all this with philosophy. He's got the nickname of the fitness philosopher because it's really all, it's in between those two little ears that makes all the difference in the world. He's the creator of the 6-week Super You program, and we're going to hear more about that as we dig into the show today. Also, we're going to hear his personal story. You know, I love to hear people's personal stories on why they do what they do, because there's always a story behind it. And we're going to hear from him kind of some of his detox tips and de-stressing tips. Boy, can we use that today. So KUTImack, thank you for coming in onto the show today.
Oh, Amy, thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this.
It's always fun when you come on the Toxin Terminator show.
I just love the name, the Toxin Terminator. I was just like, I should have came up with that first.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, huh?
But the fact that it's out there is enough to bless me. It's like, okay, somebody's getting it right.
Absolutely. There's so many toxins, and we're going to get into all of that. And I know you're about that, but I want to hear, because you were kind of in the music industry, and are you still in the music industry?
Oh, man, every time I think I'm out, I get pulled back in, just like with The Godfather, right?
Yeah.
So actively, currently, I am still a voting member for the Grammys. The Grammys are coming up soon, and I still vote for the Grammys. So I'm still involved in that way. I still guest lecture at universities about the music business because I was in the music business for a while. So so that experience and that knowledge seems to still find a landing place somewhere. And music is my first love. I can't lie. It's I had a glorious career in it. And there are aspects of it that I miss, and there's aspects of it that I don't miss. But I that's probably the neatest way to sum it up right now.
There you go. Do it justice, right?
Yeah.
So here we are in the music industry, and now you're a personal trainer, you're into nutrition, you're into health. How did that happen?
It's so funny. I saw somebody from the music business late last year, and actually couldn't have been late last year. Early last year. Wow, this year's going by fast. It was about a year ago. There was an event that I was at pre-COVID, and he was just like, "Man, you pivoted so hard. Like I've never seen a pivot like go from rock star manager to So, but what happened was the music industry had a way of sort of being a precursor to everything that was going on with life for everybody else. Almost like art imitating life. So the music industry, if folks can remember, if folks are as mature as we are, they can remember there was a time before downloads and MP3s, and I was in the business through all of that. And so one of the things that happened, one of the most important things that happened was the music industry went through an industrial revolution, and it changed everything about the way music was being distributed and disseminated. So as a label guy, all of a sudden we went from having the power to the power being in the hands of the people and them kind of dictating us.
Right.
So what happens then is there's all this change and turmoil. So what I'm trying to say is the music industry went through its economic downturn before the nation did.
Right.
I managed to survive that. But all of a sudden now I was doing jobs that were paying this much and getting paid this much. But the work that used to be this much was now this much. So it was one of those things where it started to kind of not make as much sense, but it was what I knew was what I loved. So I still participated. In the midst of that, I was a jet setter. I'm bouncing all over the place. And my father had a blood pressure incident that almost killed him. Actually, to be honest, he flatlined twice. And so I get called in off the road. At this point, I think I was in management. Get called in off the road. I go to see him, and I go into the hospital, and I'm stuck there for 10 straight days watching him flatline and bounce back in the whole nine. Now, my dad, to the eye, was the picture of health. He ran more miles a day back then than I still do now. Okay.
No, yeah.
So he was running rain, sleet, snow, shine, whatever. I thought he ate decently. And and standing next to me, it looked like, if he was David Banner, I was the Incredible Hulk, So, he was a slight man. So he is a slight man. He's still around. So there was nothing that would let you think that there was anything particularly wrong with him.
Right.
But but it was a blood pressure incident that we figured it out, down the line, and it almost took him out. And what I remembered then was, even as a lay person, because in high school, college, and all through my younger era, I was an athlete. So I kept those habits with me. I ate better than most people around me. So I was always deemed like the healthy guy, even though those standards now don't even apply to what I do currently.
Right.
And so I knew about exercise. But when I saw that this guy was, was almost pretty much died on me twice, and it was before I had done a few things in life that I still wanted to have him around for.
Right.
So now I'm studying nutrition, really just to keep my pops around.
Right.
He was already running, but I went to his kitchen, threw out everything, replaced it with more healthy stuff that was blood pressure friendly. And as I'm learning stuff about nutrition, you know how it is when you learn something new, the first thing you want to do is tell somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm telling everybody, did you know that if you eat this and eat that and do this and do that? And I was already exercising on my own. So I became the friend that everybody, when they wanted to get in shape, they would come. Neighbors would recommend. Oh, look, my friend wants to get in shape. I just told him to go to the gym with you, because I would work out by myself.
Yeah.
So I accepted these people because I wanted workout buddies. And some would come and go. Then all of a sudden it became this kind of Pied Piper thing where all of a sudden I had like 5, 6, 7 people coming to the gym with me, and personal trainers in the gym would tell me, hey man, they pull me aside, say, hey, look, buddy, we're the personal trainers here. You're messing up our business. And I was like, hey, these are my workout buddies. I'm not getting paid. Number one trainer said, you're not a trainer? And I was just like, no. I said, I'm a record exec. And he's just like, you need to be a trainer. And I remember thinking like, whatever, y'all don't make real money. That's like lifeguard, seasonal work. No, I'm not doing it. Then economic downturn in the business, right? I have a friend who's a very great personal trainer. And we went to college together. Great looking guy. He was succeeding. And I just kind of floated by him. I said, some guy told me I should be a personal trainer. And as we're doing lunch, I started talking about the food. He said, and I said something about the nutritional breakdown. And he was just like, man, you look the part. And honestly, if somebody walked up to us right now, you having never trained anybody in your life and me being this experienced trainer, and they asked about personal training, we would be even until you start talking about nutrition. And when you start talking about nutrition, I will disappear from the table and you will get that client. You should do this. And at the time, I was managing an artist. We'd done everything we could do with that guy's career. And we were waiting on a new record deal to kind of springboard the next movement. And it was just taking a long time to proceed. And at the time, I had met the woman that, is now my wife. And I knew I wanted to marry her and I wanted to have control of my income. And so the whole combination of all of that, plus my dad, just was the real life impetus for me just diving headfirst into fitness. I got a gig as a trainer quickly via word of mouth, had a lot of just groundbreaking success with people's health, not just making them look sexy or anything, but like people who were like on their deathbed, literally, and then with 2 months to live. And that was 15 years ago, and they're still alive now. That kind of stuff.
you say something in within the story, and I don't mean to cut you off here,
No worries.
but it's so relevant to, for instance, my story. I have been thin my entire life.
Mm,
And in fact, I was made fun of in high school. You know, I was that, you know, Twiggy and, you know, chicken legs or bird legs or you name it, I was called it, right?
fast forward 20 years later, I bet they wish they had those Twiggy chicken legs, right? But
Right.
carry on.
But the point I'm trying to make is that we equate weight with health,
Hmm.
and it has nothing to do with health. Of course, when we see an overweight person, we're immediately thinking unhealth.
Right.
But when we see somebody who, like your dad, he ran, I was a runner, I ran half marathons, but I
Right.
was the unhealthiest inside. Can you
Right.
talk a little bit to that?
For sure. I mean, even me, I've pretty much looked like this my entire life. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been in decent shape my entire life. But the thing that I noticed about my dad, again, that was the wake up call was, okay, you don't have to be fat to have high cholesterol. You don't
Right.
have to be fat to have high blood pressure. There are plenty of people with high blood pressure that are walking around here skinny mini. Now, where it really sank like in the depths of my soul was that I share DNA with this man.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am working out, looking decent, but I go to my doctor regularly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even my doctor would say, your cholesterol numbers are ticking upwards. I'm not sure what's going on. Now
Mm-hmm.
I knew what was going on. It was that Krispy Kreme habit I had, but we'll talk about. I digress. And so what happens is,
What?
as my as my cholesterol was ticking up, I was thinking, and I forgot one other thing. I'm an immigrant, so my family, all immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
So with immigrants, when they come here, they go to college and they become doctors, nurses, pharmacists, etc. And
Mm-hmm.
so one year during my starving artist days, when I was actually a musician, I moonlit at my uncle's pharmacy.
Mm-hmm.
I saw how medicine worked.
Mm-hmm.
I saw how medicine was prescribed. I saw people were hooked on certain medicines. I saw people were dependent on
Mm-hmm.
medicine, especially blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And what I noticed was once you got on cholesterol meds or on blood pressure meds, it's very difficult to get off. And you
Right.
actually need them to keep you alive.
Mm-hmm.
And the weird part about it is typically in medicinal culture, you have a headache, you take a pill, the headache goes away, you don't need to take any more pills. With blood pressure meds, you have to take those meds to keep you regulated. And if you break that up any kind of way or stop that cold turkey, you're gone.
Yeah.
And that happened to some of the people who were coming to the pharmacy. So
Right.
I say that to say that one gift that I've been given by God is just synergizing two disparate things, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
melody and rhythm
Mm-hmm.
or medicine and exercise and nutrition.
Right.
So I see what's the end game of this medicine, and then I see how can we naturally achieve that.
Right.
And so I'm looking at my DNA and I realize I don't want to be dependent on pills.
Right.
I don't want to live that way. And the doctor, because he knows me and because because I visit him regularly, so I admonish everybody, go to your physician with regularity, have a relationship with that man or woman, because
Mm-hmm.
it'll help your life. My doctor goes, if I saw anybody else with these numbers trending this way, I would put them on medicine. But
Mm-hmm.
it's obvious to me because of some of your other numbers that you exercise. So I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to give you a chance to eat your way back to health. And we'll see what happens before we start prescribing medicine. Because once we get to the medicinal route,
Right.
you're stuck on it.
Right.
And at
Right.
that point, for me now, I started getting into eating well. So that's the whole thing. Like, you don't have to be grossly overweight. I mean, weight is the laziest. Weight and BMI is the laziest way to keep track of someone's health.
Right.
It helps because most of us are lazy. But if you're really serious about it, your body fat percentage,
Yeah.
your blood labs, those are the things that will really tell you how healthy you are or are not. So I don't care
Right.
how anybody looks. All of my clients, I ask them for their labs. I ask
Mm-hmm.
specific questions about their labs and their numbers, and I keep track of them privately so that I can help them get where they need to go.
I love that. I love that you're looking at the true inner body health, not just what physically is out. And then when we heal, true inside inner body health, the outside looks amazing.
Exactly. I love that you said that. I tell my clients that all the time. They'll walk in the door like, well, I want, your shoulders and, the Rock's arms and this, that, and the third and such and such
Or
abs. And I'm like, hey, look, okay, fine. That's what you want. Fine. But first I'm going to get you healthy. And once I get you healthy, you'll start to see your best you come out. That's what the BYBD stands for. The BYBD is be your best daily. I spent so much time chasing after the people I would see in movies like 300 or on the cover of Men's Health. And I'd be like, man, how does he get his abs like that? And I've been working out my entire life and I'm beating myself to death and doing all these YouTube workouts. It wasn't until I got my nutrition straight that all of a sudden all that stuff started happening for me.
Yeah.
And it happened the best way it could work for me and my body.
I love that you say that, because I've heard countless times for women, I can't speak to what it is for men, but for women that what is it, like 70% or 80% of your core comes in the kitchen.
Yes. Yes.
Not from physically what you're doing.
I'll give you a perfect example, and it kind of rolls into the notion of terminating toxins, right? So basically, I've had people where I just had a couple minutes to talk to them about stuff, and they'll ask me about exercise and all this kind of and all this jazz, and I'll say, you know what? I can show you a million exercises. You can go to my Instagram page and find exercises. I've got that there. But this is what I want you to do. I want you to juice vegetables. Get some cucumbers, some spinach. If you want a little bit of mint or lime, you can throw that in there too. Put it in a juicer, not a blender. Juicers are the machines that actually separate pulp from liquid, right? Get that liquid, drink 10 ounces or more of that first thing in the morning, within 90 minutes of waking up before you do anything other than say drink water, and then one more time in the afternoon or evening. Do that every day for the next week and then come back to me. Before the week is even up, these women are hitting me. I just dropped 2 jean sizes. Didn't do anything different in terms of exercise. Some didn't exercise at all. Some kept their own regimen, whatever they were doing. But all of a sudden they were seeing breakthroughs. Why? Because now they've got clean nutrition going through their system. Their body starts to heal from the inside. The body wants to balance itself out by nature. Everything about our bodies is about balance. You start to get dry mouth, saliva forms. You start to get hot, sweat comes out. Our bodies are always trying to calibrate and create equilibrium. That's the word I was looking for. Create equilibrium at all times. And what we do is we keep sending it signals to the contrary to send it off balance. So if you heal yourself on the inside, the stuff on the outside just comes naturally. I promise you.
Oh, absolutely. I was absolutely amazed at what happened to my skin when I got off sugar. I mean, it was like, what happened?
I'll tell you a funny story. So I have a young daughter, and if you ask my mother, I got married late. And so
you got what?
I got married late. Immigrant moms, So anyway, I've got a young daughter, way younger than my peers. And the funny part about it is she'll see pictures of me from almost 18 years ago when I was a record business executive at my desk or, with an artist on tour or whatever. And the funny thing is, it's not like I looked old then. But when she looks at those pictures, she'll be like, who's that guy that looks like you? Is that like one of your uncles? And I'll be like, no, that's me. And she'll be like, nah, that ain't you. Like, that guy looks like older than you. And this is 18 years prior. That the difference was my nutrition.
Yeah. I agree 100%. I have my classmates, from school. They see me and they're like, you're aging in reverse. How is this possible?
Benjamin Button is like, one of my favorite movies.
What's that?
Benjamin Button. I play with that I play that concept all the time.
Ooh, that would make a good reel.
Yeah, that or me being a vampire is something. Let's see, Vampire, Benjamin Button, and Cyborg have been the 3 that kind of come up the most. Like, just
because of my name, I got to go with good old Arnold.
Right.
Right. I'll be back.
Right.
Okay. All right. So detoxification, I think you kind of got into it a little bit with your juicing.
Yes.
I'm a huge juicer. Talk to me about what recommendations do you have for detoxifying? Because, we got to do more than just not put toxins in the body, we got to get them out, right?
Precisely. We've got to get them out. Now, the beauty, like we talked about earlier, the body wants to balance. When your body
Right.
has what it needs, it will naturally get rid of what it doesn't. The reason it holds on to what it doesn't need is because we don't give it much else. And
Right.
our bodies require energy. Our bodies require fuel. And
Mm-hmm.
so once we respect that and say, hey, what is the purest fuel a human being can take? That is nutrition, vitamins, minerals, enzymes, proteins, antioxidants. You give your body that, and it doesn't even care about sugar.
Right.
The quickest way to get off sugar is to bomb your body with nutrition. You give your body nutrition, and all of a sudden, all of those issues of willpower and cravings, they just disappear. They just
Right.
disappear because once you have what you need, you don't want the other stuff. You know, it's one of those things like I'll sit in front of the refrigerator. Matter of fact, I'll back up. Have you ever opened up the cupboard of the refrigerator and it has food in it and you go, man, there's nothing to eat in here today?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at what is in the refrigerator or cupboard at that time, that represents nothing to eat, it's stuff that doesn't have sugar in it. So there's a bunch of celery and kale and water and, you know, apples, berries. You'd be like, But if you see a piece of cheesecake, you'll grab it. Or even if it's healthy-ish food like fruit juice,
Nuts.
or let's just say you had strawberries on one side of the refrigerator, diced pineapple on the other side. When you open up the refrigerator, you're going to grab the diced pineapple without even thinking about it.
I was going to say.
You're making an academic decision. You're not. It's a strictly biological decision, because what happens is by the time your body's telling you, I'm hungry, the E light is on. It needs energy now. And sugar converts quicker. It's cheaper, even if it's coming from a whole food source. So your body will go straight to the sugar and take that first, or straight to the juice and take that first, and bypass water, bypass berries, bypass celery, because it needs energy right now. So the key is you want to be in front of that. Put nutrition in your body first, which is why I said juice first thing in the morning before you do anything else. And you'll be amazed at how healthy the decisions you make during that day. By day 2 or 3 of you juicing routinely like that, you will walk past the coffee shop. You will walk past the donut shop. And not that you'll be repulsed by it, but what will happen is you'll see the donuts and go, I know the hot light's on, but maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow will come, you'll be like, maybe Saturday. And then if you do just break down and buy it out of habit, the first bite you take will taste as absolutely glorious as you remember. But pay attention to your taste buds the second bite and the third bite. After a while, you can't even taste that donut or that cookie. If I asked you what kind of cookie it was, you wouldn't know. You just know you are eating something sweet because your body has already had enough. Our bodies will tell us when to say when, but they don't tell us when to say when it comes to addiction. And when we're addicted to toxins, we behave like addicts. You know, we just can't get enough. But you've never been given like 10 pounds of strawberries, said, have at it, and ate them all. No. Never in your life. You've never been given, 5 pounds of broccoli, have as much as you like, and just ate it all. You don't. You've never been given 20 gallons of water, give it to you, drink it all. You won't. But you'll drink a 2-liter bottle of lemonade or, fruit punch because of the sugar.
Right.
Right. You ever been at a restaurant, get those, all you can eat, or all you can drink refills?
Yes.
Watch the glasses of water at the table the next time we're able to go to a restaurant. Watch the glasses of water versus the glasses of juice and soda, and how many times they keep calling the waitress to you see what I'm saying? Because there's sugar. And you know you're about to eat dinner. You know you're about to eat a full course of dinner, and you'll just give me more bread, more rolls.
I was going to say the bread, the chips and salsa, that they serve because it's carbohydrates, which is sugar.
Sugar, exactly. We're addicted to sugar. So if you want to knock out that addiction, you want to fill yourself up with nutrition. Juice in the morning, juice in the evening. It is the absolute best way to succeed at what you're trying to do, whether it's the way you're trying to look, feel, or actually be in terms of your health.
I love that. All right. Let's talk about, because we're just going on. We might have to have you come back and do part 2, 3, who knows.
I'm down. Right? Let's do it. I love this.
So, but I want to get into your 6-week Super You program, because this is something that you launched last year.
Yes.
It's a newer program based off your I'm going to say that BYBD,
Mhm.
program, right?
Yes.
So talk to us about what this is all about.
All right. So BYBD is my mantra, is my motto, is my lifestyle. Be your best daily. Just in incremental steps. How can you improve your life? A great day. If you have 7 of those, you have a great week. You have 4 of those, you've had a great month. You have 12 of those, you've had a great year. You've had 10 of those, you've had a great decade, and so on and so forth. But it starts with the day, right? So
Right.
the thing is, time is finite. I can only train but so many people. I can only talk in so many places. And so I realized, man, I'm getting to a point where I'm hitting capacity, but I've got a world to help and impact positively. And somebody was like, well, come up with a program. And I didn't know what to do. So I just sat back and thought about what are the cornerstones of my program? What are the cornerstones of what I do? What are the pillars? And there's a super trio: super facts, super foods, and super moves.
Okay.
Information that's based on science and legitimate, real, researched, and walked out, in practicum with my work. Super foods, the foods that just get you where you got to go quickly and don't take you off program. And the super moves are the exercises that don't waste a lot of time, don't necessarily need a lot of equipment, don't need a lot of space, but are just as effective as you going to the gym or doing whatever you have to do typically. And then I thought about the things that are in common that tended to be the issues that clients had: detoxification, energy, just getting energy. That's why Starbucks makes so much money. They sell sugar and caffeine, but people want energy, obviously. Building strength. A lot of people just want to have more activity of their limbs and command over their body. Stress relief. I don't see that emphasized enough in the fitness realm. Stress biologically destroys us. Stress reduces our immune system. Stress makes us more susceptible to things like COVID. Stress is the impetus of disease.
Right.
Balance. As people mature in life, that's one thing we kind of forget about, is just balance, being able to balance our body, balance our nutrition. And there's something I'm forgetting. Let's see. So it's detoxification, energy. Oh, fat burning. How could I forget that? Leaning out. Some people want, people want to cut up, lean out, tone. So those 6 things were the cornerstones. So I dedicated a week to each one of those topics. And we take them in a legitimate order. So you start with detoxification, we go to energy, we go to fat burning, strength building, stress relief, and balance. And each week, every day of the week, you will get a text, an email, a video, a quick little 3 to 5 minute inspirational vignette that'll either show you an exercise or talk to you about your food, or just give you information that you may not have heard before, may not have heard applied in a way that it makes sense to you, that you understand, oh, that's why. Like I just explained the whole thing about sugar. I give you those kind of facts all throughout the 6-week Super You.
I love that. And I love 2 things about your program that I really like is, number 1, you put detox first and foremost. I love that. And secondly, you incorporate in the stress. Our body does not differentiate between stresses, and your body is actually in this stress mode. And I think most people, maybe you can help back me up on this, we have been in this constant state for so long that we don't even realize we're in it. Does that make sense?
That makes absolute sense. The thing that we have to remember is these human bodies have been around for a long time, but what they are wired for, technology and advances in all kinds of societal advances, have removed the need for some of these things. So for instance, adrenaline, when you are a prehistoric man or woman and there's a Tyrannosaurus Rex running after you, or a saber-toothed tiger, you got to run, jump up a tree. And so you got to use your hamstrings. You need that burst of energy that doesn't come from anything that you can eat. You need energy right now. And that's what adrenaline is for. But now, when do we get that adrenaline rush? When we're driving down the highway and we happen to be listening to the radio, don't pay attention. Also, we pass a cop. And also you feel this rush go through your body. And you notice when you feel that rush, you can see clearer, you can hear, like you're all of a sudden just like a superhero. All of a sudden, all of your senses are just super hyper sensitized. But then that rush comes and goes. But there's a chemical reaction that happens in our body at that time. And that doesn't, and the body tends to be over aggressive with everything. Think about it. If you have an eyelash in your eye, doesn't it feel like a boulder?
Oh,
You know, the body, when it's imbalanced, it overcompensates all the time. So what I'm saying is, if you're drinking caffeine, if you're taking, if you're getting too much sugar, you're running those same cortisol releases in your body. You know, some certain stimulants, drugs, nicotine, things of that nature. You're triggering these things as if a saber-toothed tiger is chasing after you, and then your body releases that energy in your system. It's got nowhere to go, nowhere to apply it, and so it holds on to it. The longer anything gets held onto in your system, in your body, it turns into fat. So we are wondering why we can't break through certain thresholds in fitness, and it's because we're stressing ourselves out. Even if we're not stressed out, even if we think we're zenned out, we're over here drinking caffeine every single day. And that's just telling your body, run. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's those kind of things that, you know, detoxification is absolutely key. And the reason I put it first is because it's the one habit that if you walk away from the 6-week Super You, or even this very podcast, I want you to walk away with the habit of juicing. If you need more information, I'll give it to you. But juice. Don't include fruit either. I'll tell you why later. But what I want you to know is that juicing is a habit that I keep reinforcing all through the 6-week Super You. Even so, once I talk about detoxing in week 1, I don't leave it alone. You'll hear me readdress detoxing all the way through. Again, that's why I love being on Toxic Terminator. It's like, this is the perfect place to be.
I love that. So tell our listeners, we've been scrolling, bybdfitness.com on the bottom of the screen. Is that where they can get into your program? Do you have like juicing recipes up there, blogs?
I've got my Instagram feed is on there, and through my Instagram feed, I pump a lot of content as well. I'm at KUTImack, KUTImack, one word. I'm at KUTImack on Instagram. On Facebook, it's BYBD Fitness. bybdfitness.com. They all sort of run into each other, but I do like to provide as much information. And what I always implore anybody who's checking me out, if there's something that you came to me for and you don't see it, ask the question. Because I typically, thanks to my experience, I am confident that I've got the answer. And if I don't have the answer, I'll find it really quick and act like I've always had it. So
I love that. I love that. Thank you.
The 6-week Super You has its own proprietary page as well. It's the number 6-week Super You. So 6weeksuperyou.com, number 6-week Super You. If you're interested in that program, you can just put your information there. I'll send you some more information about it. And if you're interested, you can rock and roll. Matter of fact, I organize occasional cohorts, and I have a cohort that's actually launching this weekend on the 31st. So it's not too late to get in. If you want to, come on through.
I love that. And we will put that into the show notes for everybody. And I'll post that above once we are done going live. I'll get that website in there as well. And it's the number 6-week Super You .com, right?
Yep. Yes.
Awesome. All right. Final words. I'm going to leave it to you as we close out our time together.
Like I said before, we all can be better in increments. The toughest thing to do in terms of making anything a lifestyle is looking at the totality of it and thinking, I can't conquer it. What I want you to remember is you can be better just by taking a step today. And the day starts whenever you start it. So 24 hours from today is a day. So you can start your best day right now, right? Be your best, not my best, not Amy's best. Be your best daily. I can help you. Just come to me. If you are your best today, and you get 7 of those in a row, like I said before, you've got your best week. If you get 4 of those in a row, you've got your best month. If you got 12 of those in a row, you've got your best year. And that's a lot.
Yeah.
By then, it should be a habit. And if it's not, start the day over again.
Yep.
All right.
I love that. Thank you so much, KUTImack. I so appreciate your time. You can just feel the energy and passion. Thank you.
Thank you. This is an amazing opportunity. I love what you do.
Thank you. Stay with me.
I'll be back too.
Okay, stay with me.
That's all for this episode of the Toxin Terminator, and we hope we've helped you remove the hidden toxins in your life for renewed health. If you're looking to continue your journey towards full rejuvenation, reach out to Amy directly by visiting amycarlson.com for your own one-on-one chat session, as well as your free toxic risk assessment. That's AIMEE Carlson.com. And remember, you are just one small change away from renewed health.